is there meaning to life? Is there purpose? And if you get into nihilism and the meaninglessness, I would also suggest the other, that there's more meaning in life. Everything is seen as meaningful, and everything is interconnected. And you are part of that connection, not separate. And it's just a whole different way of living. And then you see others and you understand what they may be going through because you have. And that breeds compassion and understanding. And then we're talking about unity, not separation.
Welcome to this new episode, and today I am with Stan. How are you, Stan?
I am wonderful. I am very content. How are you?
Very good as well. I'm very glad that you're here today.
So am I.
Stan is a meditation teacher, particularly mindfulness, and also is running inquiry meetings every week in Orion. And is a person who's been on a journey of learning and developing for many, many, many years.
I'm not sure what's been developed over these years. I think it's more of deconstructing than adding to it. And that's what interests me with the meditation that I do on Thursdays at Orion. And the inquiry, which this week will be about free will and who's choosing.
Wow!
Yeah.
Now, this is one of the philosophical topics that I'm, closest to as well. So maybe we can delve into it a little later.
Sure.
First of all, I'd like to ask you, how long have you been on the path, and when did you come across mindfulness?
Well, I began, I guess, over 40 years ago. Like many people, I was at a very low point in my life. Mm-hmm. And I was searching for some understanding of what had gone wrong in my life, which was the end of a marriage. And I was confused and depressed. And I was fortunate enough to live and move to a city, San Francisco in America, where there were many tools available to help me understand what I was going through. And there I discovered meditation for the first time, about, I would say 41 years ago. And I took to it. I used other tools, but that was the one I resonated with. And so I delved into different forms of meditation, Zen meditation, the different schools of Vipassana meditation, and I just immersed myself in meditation. And it helped me understand the workings of the mind, and still it helps me understand the tendencies of thinking, which is what I share in the meditation that I offer.
That's amazing indeed. So first you were, of course, having a problem or obstacle in life, and then you found this amazing tool of meditation. You love it so much, you delve into it so much, and then at a certain point you feel compelled to start sharing and sort of teaching people as well, right?
I think that in my life I was always sharing something that really touched me deeply in whatever form. And so it was natural when I discovered meditation that I wanted to share this because it was so beneficial for me, and I thought it might assist other people too.
And when you hold space during your inquiry meetings, what do you talk about? Is it like philosophical questions?
No, it's topic oriented. So as this Friday, as I mentioned, we'll be doing it at 11 o'clock at Orion, and the topic is free will. Is there free will? Are you choosing your life? And we'll get into it. And it's people bringing their own experience, their questions about free will, and we'll explore it. So it's not just intellectual, but the intention is to make it experiential. That, looking at it and experiencing something different.
Sure.
that hasn't been considered in the discussion of free will.
You know, free will, I came across the subject of free will a couple of years ago, and of course I've been to India and I was introduced to the concept of karma.
Yeah.
And you know, destiny is always something that personally I related to more like the Islam or Muslim community, if you want. But then 2 years ago I found determinism, which is you know, the Western philosophical branch that looks at whether we are really free agents or if everything is sort of mechanically construed based on what happened prior to what we are living.
Okay.
So, you know, and then I found out that, you know, for instance, children 0 to 6 years old, most of your personality is formed.
Right.
As a child, you're a bit of a sponge. You just suck in the environment, and I mean, I haven't chosen my parents, I haven't chosen my body where I was born, and I haven't chosen really my experiences at 0 to 6 years old, at least.
Yes, yes. I would suggest that you're not choosing your experiences now, but the conditioning process and the support that, yes, we are in control of our lives is so strong that the idea that maybe you're not choosing can be fearful. It can, my gosh, that means I'm not in control. But not giving up control allows other possibilities to exist. So if you forget about the philosophies, you forget about all the concepts of what it means to choose, be it based on karma or any other concept, because that's trying to understand what it means to choose, but to really look at it and understand the tendencies of thinking. And in meditation, you can see something. I'll tell you, the first time that it hit me was probably, about 35 years ago. I was at a meditation retreat. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to the teacher, whom I knew and was a friend of mine. And the teacher said something, and I listened. And then all of a sudden, a thought appeared. I would like to kill the teacher. Wow, where did that come from? And then it started to get, more vivid. How would I kill the teacher, and so forth. So the story emerged as I'm listening to this friend and this teacher. And I questioned, I said, where did that come from? Now, I was at a meditation retreat, so I had the time to explore that. And that's when I really started to realize we're not choosing our thoughts. And if we're not choosing our thoughts, which govern our lives, then maybe we're not choosing any of these things that we believe we are.
And then our Western culture is very much based on merit and deserving to be where you are. Right? So if you are a billionaire, it's because of your hard work, smarts, and intelligence, and you choose kind of to become a millionaire. Every time you have, two choices, one is going to lead you towards success and one not, like working a little harder or going for a drink, for instance, then people choose, the billionaires choose the right path. And so they are so esteemed in society because of their own merit. And if you're a homeless person or somebody that is suffering a lot, for instance, that's completely your fault instead, isn't it?
Right. So it's about responsibility, and you're responsible for it. But are you? Are you really? The question I ask people who are certainly adamant about, yes, I'm choosing, and there's no question, is can you choose to stop thinking right now? Can you choose to not think?
Maybe for a few seconds, but then it's coming back.
Yes. So what does that imply?
Indeed, and then the second layer I'd like to ask you, they say about 5% of our consciousness is, 5% of our brain is the conscious side and 95% is unconscious or subconscious, right? So when I choose to eat a salad over soup, I have the impression, the idea that I am choosing consciously. but possibly it's still me choosing, just at a deeper level in a way, based on the ideas I have of soup versus salad, or what happened to me earlier in the day, or how I'm feeling. So again, is my subconscious choosing still me choosing?
It doesn't matter, because if you're looking to find an answer, it doesn't matter, because you're trying to understand who's choosing. And that's the need for most of us, to understand what is, to understand who's choosing and what's being chosen. But rather there is the isness of the moment, and to be present with the action. It's a totally different way. And what can happen is there's space. In meditation, there can be space. I call it spaciousness or pause in the whole thinking stream. And in that pause, which meditation can give you, is you see the thought arising. And in that thought arising is the action to go this way or that way. And that thought will be followed. So it's not you choosing the thinking, and that is just coming from who knows where.
It's already inside me, possibly.
Could be, but then the question is, who are you? Are you separate from the consciousness or the totality of life?
Well, I didn't choose to be born on this earth. It just happened. So they might. So basically, the question is there a greater consciousness, or like a ultimate will that started it all, that governs it all? Or
I
not?
don't know. And I think we can never discover the source. It's impossible, because if you are an expression of the source, you can't discover that. You can play with it, you can conceive of it, you can call it various names, but is that really what it is? But what can be realized is this beautiful life and everything that is happening all the time. This kind of a collage of experiences that we constantly have, that we constantly perceive, and that's life.
It's beautiful indeed. When I came across 2 years ago, this concept of determinism and free will, one of the problems I highlighted was that it's very easy, once you decide that you don't really are the person choosing, to just take personal responsibility out of the window, and then you have two pitfalls on both sides. One being hedonism, well, I don't really choose, it doesn't really matter, someone else or something else choosing for me, let's go and get drunk,
Right.
Or, the worst side, which is nihilism instead. Nothing is meaningful. I don't have any agency over what's happening to me.
Right.
So what is this? What is the meaning of me being the baker baking bread, or me being the father raising my child if, I'm just here like a human robot almost.
Right. And that's the topic we did last Friday in the inquiry. Is there meaning to life? Is there purpose? And if you get into nihilism and the meaninglessness, I would also suggest the other, that there's more meaning in life. Everything is seen as meaningful, and everything is interconnected. And you are part of that connection, not separate. And it's just a whole different way of living. And then you see others and you understand what they may be going through because you have. And that breeds compassion and understanding. And then we're talking about unity, not separation.
Stan, so going back onto the meaning of life, so would you say meaning is attributed by culture, or it's intrinsic? I mean, I'm one person out of 7 billion now, and I'll probably be gone after 80 or 90 years. I'm just a grain of sand in the desert, just a drop of water in the ocean. You know, it's what am I here for, and what does it all mean then?
And maybe nothing. Nothing. There's a wonderful movie that many of your viewers may have seen called Soul.
Mm-hmm.
Delightful. Won all kinds of awards. And the movie was about life and death, and it was about kind of resurrection. And our hero at the end of the movie realized his purpose in life. And his purpose in life was life. To live life was his realization. Life is to be lived.
So everything that I'm taking so seriously in life
Yes.
is not really that important. So what is the ultimate goal for me personally? And then by reading, researching, and also thinking a lot, I said, maybe just, you know, maximizing well-being, minimizing pain, or just having the most flow and the most happy, well, you know, what happy means as well.
Yeah.
Just being in the flow, basically, trying to experience life as much as I can.
And that brings up the question, what is the flow? Are we out of the flow, or do we think we're out of the flow because the flow has been defined as some way to be? Again, we have a concept of to be in the flow, or to be in the present, to be the power of now. Is this moment more powerful than the next now? It just is. So with that, you can just be. And you don't have to become something, you just be.
There is something to say about social connection, though. I mean, whenever I feel the best personally is when I am flowing in conversations with friends, laughing over dinner,
Yes.
or maybe being very close to my girlfriend, or,
Right.
you know, these are moments, I mean, every moment lived in the present is a good moment, but certain moments are better than others almost.
Yes. So when those moments happen, what's the tendency? You want more of those moments. They're precious. And when you don't have those moments are already memories. So they're from the past. So when you don't have that in the moment, so to speak, you're judging, you're saying, I lost it. I want this past memory now. So you're caught in the past. So what can happen is you see the tendency of mind that says, oh, I don't like to be here. I'd rather be where this memory is, and bring that memory from the past in the present. So that's the comparing mind, the tendency of thinking to want this moment to be better and different than it is. And that can be seen. And then you are just present with what is. And that's okay.
In the present moment, when I'm really present, I'm never really in pain, because the pain usually is either anxiety or worries for the future, or some sort of trauma or guilt feeling about the past. When I'm completely still, it's true. And I suppose a meaning in life could be to learn how to be more present in itself. Could like a spiritual development or seeking be a meaning in itself?
Yeah, I think we talk about practice and seeking. It seems that for people who are questioning, like, you know, questioning all that we're talking about, the different concepts and the conditioning, are inquiring about their conditioning, aren't dissatisfied with the conditioning, and believe there's another way to be. And then there's practice. There's this discovering different tools. Like I discovered that tool of meditation years ago and used that for some self-awareness. Yes, that seems to be important, to find a tool, be it meditation or something else, where you start to look at your conditioning. And it's very helpful, it can be. Not knowing where it's going to go, because that's different. It's just, I want to understand what is. And so in a way, it can be said that you're in time, you're practicing, because all practice is based on a beginning a middle, and you still have to go end. There's always comparing. Where am I in my practice? Okay? I remember when I started, and now I'm more proficient, I'm better at it, but there's still something more that I have to practice to become. So in time, we're practicing to discover timelessness. So we use time and the measurement and the construct to discover something that is not in time, that is just presence.
It is a beautiful practice. I personally do a transcendental meditation, which is a mantra meditation, since about 1 year.
Yeah.
And it really changed my life a little bit. Yeah? I feel so much. I have these 20 minutes in the morning and in the afternoon where I'm gone. I clean my mind completely.
Yes, yes.
I feel nourished. I feel my soul grows after it. And it's become such a routine that I do it absolutely every day. And it's absolutely lovely. At the same time, I still have to contend with the culture, or what you might say conditioning to a certain extent. I am at the age where I'm supposed to expand financially still. I'm not settled financially. Yes. I need to manifest in life, and that, of course, makes me have to deal with this, culture of achievement, this culture of comparing, and all the forces that are, conditioned forces in our society. So just trying to do that and try not to get too stuck into it, I suppose, is the solution. Or?
Well, it's to see our actions. Many of us have dropped out of that place of achieving, productivity. And even when we dropped out of the so-called material world, even in the spiritual world, there is productivity. We've substituted achieving something. So again, that can be seen. That's just another form of conditioning, be it spiritual or material. And years ago, there was a book called Spiritual Materialism by a Tibetan Buddhist, Trungpa, a classic book that detailed that. So the opportunity is to look at our so-called spiritual lives and what we're trying to attain. And in that, letting go of that. And then there's a different way of being in the social material world. It's a totally different way that it can't be conceived of. It can only be dealt with in action.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do now is to see my, for instance, this YouTube channel is fun for me. Yeah. I have a blog, which is fun for me. I also have more of a, real commercial activity I'm doing, and I'm actually building more now. And I'm trying to see it as fun as well, I'm trying to not attach to the results so much, just have some sort of practice related to that one. So every day I work 4 or 5 hours, I build it up. That's a compromise, I suppose. Yeah,
and I think the key word is attachment. That you're doing things you enjoy, and you're not attached to it. There's a great quote from the Bible: "Do what you can, do it to the best of your ability, but don't be attached to the fruits of your labor."
Yeah.
So do it. Be completely present with what you're doing, and then what will come of it will come of it.
Yeah, because ultimately there's no other option, because what will come of it anyway.
And that's when you see you're not in control what will come of it. And then what can come of it, the possibilities are limitless, ones that you cannot conceive of when you're doing it.
Do you believe that the Western society is more materially successful because of this conditioning of lack of of having free will instead, where people are pushed to believe that they are a lot more the results of their own material life?
Yeah. Individualism, Well, it depends how you define successful. What is successful for one person and not another?
It's a cultural thing,
Yeah, is it acquiring all this money? You referred to, billionaires and so forth. Is that successful? Are they happy? Or is somebody who hasn't the money but just is enjoying life? So how do we define success?
For me, a good model I look is Maslow, hierarchy of needs, and I think it's very difficult to have, time for inquiry, philosophy, and spirituality when you're toiling away in a factory 10 hours a day.
Agreed.
Yeah?
Agreed.
So that's the first step. So we are kind of lucky, I think, both of us, because we are at a point where we have enough material success to a certain extent so that we can delve into other aspects of ourselves.
Yes.
But it is true that whatever I do in life, it's just the attitude maybe. I can do exactly the same thing I'm doing, but if I don't have the attachment, I don't have this continuous anxiety and worry about it. And I just, as you said, I'm very present, I do my best, and then things will come anyway. Good things will come, potentially.
So what is worry? Worry is just this series of thoughts about controlling some situation, then you realize you can't. It's just an idea. So once you see a series of thoughts and you see, oh, it just isn't, it can't be done, and that's the deconstructing of it, and there's a natural letting go, so worries are gone.
So nice indeed. Stan, thank you I feel very good actually. Can I ask you, I mean, Phangan is a beautiful place, it's my home, yeah? Why did you choose to come and live in Phangan?
Well, my base is not Phangan. I've lived 16 years in Pai. Up in northern Thailand.
Lovely Pai.
Many people on the island know of Pai. So in the spring, Pai gets very smoky. The north of Thailand is inundated with smoke. And many of us that can leave. And I come to Phangan. I share the meditation in Pai, and I come here and spend 4 or 6 months and do the very same meditation and inquiry here. So that's what brings me to Phangan, which has become my second home.
Lovely.
And it is lovely, and I feel so grateful to be in both places, have 2 homes.
And what a lifestyle,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Stan, thank you very much for your time today. It's been very interesting talking to you.
My pleasure, Luca. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you.